He just broke a record that took 20 years. 6 World Cups and 1 missed penalty to get. Lionel Messi is now the single greatest goal scorer in World Cup history. 18 goals. More than anyone who's ever played the men's game. And here's the wild part. He did it at 38 years old. An age when most footballers have already retired and started coaching kids soccer practice. So if you don't know anything about football, if you've never watched a single match in your life, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this one man has an entire planet obsessed with him, and why 50 years from now, parents will still be telling their kids about him. Let's start with the basic question. Who actually is Messi? Lionel Messi is an Argentine soccer player. Small, quiet, doesn't look like an athlete when he's just standing there. At 5'7", he's shorter than most NBA mascots. But the moment the ball touches his foot, something changes. It's like watching a normal person suddenly speak fluent gravity. Here's a comparison that'll make sense to Americans. Imagine if Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky were combined into one player. Except this player did it in a sport where 2 billion people watch the championship every 4 years. That's the scale we're talking about. And that record he just broke? It's been building for 2 decades. Messi scored his very first World Cup goal back in 2006. He was 18 years old, barely an adult. Most players that age are still trying to make the team, not score for it. Now here's the twist. After that goal, Messi went through a rough patch. In the 2010 World Cup, he scored 0 goals, nothing. The whole tournament. Critics said he was overrated, said he couldn't perform on the biggest stage, said the numbers didn't lie. But Messi kept going. 4 goals in 2014. Argentina lost the final that year, and Messi cried on the podium holding a trophy that wasn't his. 1 more goal in 2018. Then in 2022, at an age when most players are already done, 7 goals, and Argentina finally won it all. You'd think that's the perfect ending, right? Movie style. Walk away a champion. Roll credits. Except he didn't walk away. He came back in 2026, same competition, same pressure. And in his very first game back, he scored a hat trick. That's 3 goals in 1 match, to tie the all-time record. Then 2 games later against Austria, he broke it completely. 18 goals, standing alone at the top, ahead of every player in the sport's history. But here's what makes this genuinely strange, not just impressive. In that exact same Austria game, he also missed a penalty kick. Shot it wide right? The easiest kind of goal in football, and he flat out missed it. Most players would crumble after that. Messi scored twice more in the same match anyway, so why does any of this actually matter? Why should someone who's never cared about soccer care about this guy? Because Messi represents something most sports almost never get to see. A 20-year story arc with a real ending. Most legends peak and fade. Messi peaked, faded a little, then came back at 38 and rewrote the record books anyway. That's not normal. That's closer to a movie script than real life. Here's a stat that puts it in perspective. Since turning 35 years old, an age most players have already retired by, Messi has scored 12 World Cup goals. 12. That's more World Cup goals than legends like Diego Maradona, Thierry Henry, or Neymar scored across their entire careers. Not just their late careers. Their whole careers. Let that sink in for a second. And it's not only about goals. Messi has won 8 Ballon d'Ors. That's the official Best Player on the Planet award, more than any human being who has ever played the sport. He's scored over 600 career goals for Barcelona alone, the most by any player for a single club in history. He's the all-time top scorer in Spain's biggest league. He even broke the record for most goals scored by anyone, anywhere in a single calendar year, with 91 goals in 2012. Numbers like that don't really happen. They get manufactured in video games, not real life. Here's the part most beginners get wrong, though. People assume greatness means highlight reel skill, flashy moves, fancy footwork. That's part of it. But Messi's actual genius is something quieter. It's decision-making. He sees passing lanes and angles 3 seconds before they exist. Defenders aren't slow. Messi is just operating on a different clock than everyone else on the field. Think of it like chess. Most players are reacting to the move in front of them. Messi's already thinking 4 moves ahead, calmly, while sprinting at full speed. So will he keep adding to that record? Maybe. Cristiano Ronaldo, his longtime rival, is chasing milestones of his own in this exact tournament. The two of them have Spent 2 decades pushing each other to ridiculous heights nobody else has reached. That rivalry alone could be its own documentary. But here's the real reason Messi won't be forgotten. It's not just the trophies. It's not just the 18 goals. It's that he gave football fans, and now millions of brand new fans, a complete story. A kid who once got cut from his country's youth setup for being too small. A man who failed on the world's biggest stage and didn't quit. A legend who came back one more time. Well past the age anyone expected and made history anyway. That's not a stat line. That's a legacy. So here's your quick recap. A record 20 years in the making. 18 World Cup goals. A missed penalty that didn't stop him. And a comeback story most athletes never get to write. And here's the one thing worth remembering after you close this video. Greatness isn't about never failing. Messi failed in 2010. He failed earlier this week on that penalty kick. What makes him unforgettable is what he did 3 minutes later. If this is the first time you've actually understood why the world stops for this man, you're exactly who this channel is for. Subscribe because we're breaking down the World Cup, all tournament long, one beginner-friendly story at a time.